All right, so Twiddle Storm. Two parts of that deck name. The first is the Twiddle part. So you got two copies of the actual card Twiddle here, which is tap or untap target artifact, creature, or land. We also have the card Dreamer's Grip, which is basically a strictly upgraded version of that. It can tap or untap something with Entwine. And we have the cornerstone of the deck here is Psychic Puppetry, which is a 2-mana Twiddle, but notably for 1 blue, it has Splice onto Arcane. So what this does is it allows us to add this card's effect onto another Arcane spell, because Kamigawa is a weird block. So we have Arcane spells Reach Through Mist, Peer Through Depths, and Ideas Unbound here. So all of these Arcane spells, along with Psychic Puppetry and Lotus Field, allow us to kind of chain through our deck while being mana neutral or generating additional mana in the case of Reach Through Mist. So we draw a bunch of cards while generating Storm Count. And then eventually we cast a Grapeshot and kill them. We can also generate lots of extra mana. So like when you have a Lotus Field, Dreamer's Grip, and Twiddle are basically Dark Ritual for any color of mana. So you spend 1 mana to untap your triple land, which is sweet. Pass in Flames lets us redo all this stuff if we make enough mana to do that. And then notably, what this build of Twiddle Storm is doing different than previous builds that we've played on stream is that this deck doesn't work if you don't have Lotus Field. So we have 8 fetch lands, 2 breeding pools, and then 2 copies of Sylvan Scrying here. So Sylvan Scrying is a tool that we can cast this on 2, so we can then set ourselves up to get Lotus Field on 3. Because this deck can combo as early as turn 3, because even though Lotus Field enters tapped, you can play the Lotus Field while floating mana off the 2 lands you're going to sacrifice, and then you sack those lands, and then you use Dreamer's Grip or Twiddle to untap your Lotus Field and kind of get comboing from there. So this deck, when it has the Lotus Field, frequently kills on turn 4. The problem is that it's not always going to have access to that. So let's go ahead and dive on into a league here and see how things go. Morning, Morcar. Pass in Flames also works with Splice on Arcane since the Splice part. Yeah. So if you have the Splice part in your hand, you can splice on 2 cards that you're flashing back from your graveyard. For Storm deck, do you prefer Twiddle or the standard Storm deck? I'm not convinced either of these archetypes are very good. So there's definitely a trade-off. So the trade-off, from my understanding, is that the this is probably fine, I guess. The trade-off, from my understanding, is that the traditional Storm deck is going to go off a little bit more consistently. However, or a little more consistently faster. However, the number of interaction points you have with traditional Storm is higher, because when traditional Storm is comboing off quickly, it involves a creature being in play, and there's a lot of creature removal in Modern, especially with all of these Stoneforge Mystics that are running around that people are trying to kill. This deck has the downside where that it literally can't combo unless it has Lotus Field in play. So you have to have a very specific card, so you're harder to interact with when you're going off, but you're also require a specific card, and your deck just doesn't function without it, which is why adding the Sylvan Scrying, for instance, to this build is kind of appealing. Hey, Full Metal, thanks for the 27 months. To bump a deck to get played tomorrow, is it to get played tomorrow. To get a deck played the next day, the amount it needs to get bumped by varies depending on what the queue looks like. It's kind of a low point for queue activity, so things have been staying pretty managed. So like for instance, after today, the top standard deck looks like it'll have 24 points, and the top modern deck looks like it'll have 32 points. So to get a deck guaranteed played tomorrow, it would need to be in the however many that ends up beating those basically. Brady K, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Socio Penguin saved over $300 on our vacation this month using Honey, which I installed because of you. Time to pay it forward. Not attached, an exact 75. I just like the archetype, so do what you will. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Yep, 100 bits or $1 donated to a point. Where can I find the queue to know what deck I want to bump? You can always find it at bit.ly/deck queue. You can also just go to my magicesports.net and then click live stream deck queue, and that drop down there. It's not 100% live because I don't update it during the day while I'm streaming. So like the 4 decks that we're playing today, I won't take them off as we go. And actually the standard list, I forgot to update it. It's going to be Blue Red Wizards is going to be our second standard deck today. But at the end of shortly after each stream ends, I update that. As far as this game's going, past the details about stream stuff, feeling pretty dead here. We have 1 copy of Echoing Truth in our deck, but it's going to take me a little bit to find my way to that. And like, I have to find an Echoing Truth, and then I have to find a Lotus Field still. And this was our experience playing the last Twiddle Storm deck. While it is a little bit harder to interact with than some other things, like once they, what are we getting here? When they do interact with you, it feels like I don't have a lot of good tools to counteract it. Let's bump the Ponza list because LD is fun. Sounds good, Slacker. I appreciate the support. A good reminder for folks cheering in this channel or any channel between now and the 24th in 12 days. If you use the September cheer, the Subway cheer or whatever it is, there's a 10% boost. That works on this channel and every channel. Well, they don't have a 4th land, so I guess that's good for us. We don't get hit by the Sword of Fire and Ice this turn. But I also don't think we can win from here, right? Like, I have, we're going to be dead next turn, right? Because the Sword of Fire and Ice is +4 damage. So I get to peer through depths here, but I can't, like, unsummon one of these and do something else. And I need to like take this off the table, which I guess Grapeshot does, but like that I don't have a Lotus Land in play. Which again, there's like a great example of like while this deck can have really fast Goldfish, there's gonna be lots of games like this where you just like don't find it. And maybe you're supposed to mulligan more aggressively, I guess. I don't know that I'm a huge fan of this sideboard. So the other sideboard we'd been playing had more it had more red cards in it. So we had like lightning bolts and stuff like that. And like Rapid Hybridization, while it kills bigger things, killing Athalia with that's a little bit scary. Not taking what do I draw? What's the draw step? Convince me I had an out, because I'm pretty sure we had 0. Here's the bump Legacy Neoshul brand. Thanks, Full Metal. I appreciate it. Hey, morning, Jeff. Been a long-time YouTube viewer, first time catching a live show. Welcome to a live one, Blink. I appreciate the sub support. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. Welcome to this part of Hoaglandia. Yeah, I could sit there and like diddle their creature to like not die that turn. Actually, I can't diddle the equipment. I guess I could diddle their creature in response to the equipment going on it, but then it's protection from blue and I can't diddle it again. Yeah, and like this is just so like this is like kind of shows like the issues we had with this deck in the past. Like you have hands that just like you have this deck feels like it has a lot of hands that are lands and spells that aren't keepable. Is what the feeling I was getting last time we played it. And like this hand's very similar to the last one we kept, which is that like, well, this hand like does stuff, I guess, but it doesn't have a way to get to my Lotus land, and if I don't have a Lotus land, my deck literally just doesn't function. And when you combine the fact that without a Lotus land, the deck doesn't function, with the fact that, what's the word that I'm searching for? When you combine that with the fact that you have all these twiddle effects that also don't do anything while you're getting set up, things get a little clunky. Reach Through Mist is a pretty good draw. It means if they don't Thalia us next turn, we can potentially combo on 3. Because we'll be able to float 2 and then Reach Through Mist Psychic Puppetry. And look at that, they have a Thalia. And we don't really have good counterplay for that. I guess we Serum Visions now and like look for a Rapid Hybridization. I'm gonna bottom this. Am I? Extra land might actually be useful here. Nah, I'm gonna keep the Reach Through Mist because it's basically a free roll, even with the Thalia out with the Lotus Field. So we'll pass back here. We can get turn 2 Thalia, turn 2 Thalia, turn 3, Thanasia 2 games in a row. Yeah, this is like their best possible start against us too, which feels really bad. Should trust my cantrips for Lotus Field. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it doesn't seem like a super good plan because most of the cantrips in Modern kind of suck. And like the best cantrip in this deck is Peer Through Depths, and it does not find Lotus Field, which feels pretty bad. We're just gonna get run down here again. Last time we played this, it felt pretty bad, and I said we weren't gonna play it again, and then I had someone submit the Temur version. I was like, okay, well, give it a try with the Sylvan Scrying. Sword of Feast and Famine. Yep, that's a completely reasonable and beatable card, chat. Yep. So I think I'm actually supposed to just do this, splice this. This is free technically, right? Because it cost me 3 mana. So with that land, I can now Peer plus Puppetry. Let's do this again. Well, we've definitely reached through the mist. So if they didn't have a Thalia, we definitely would have killed them here. Okay. All right. So I think we just pass now, right? I found Rapid Hybridization. So the goal here is end step, hybridization, the Thalia, untap, do stuff. This is actually really good for us here. So I get to kill this. Since they tapped out, I get to kill this and not worry about them deploying anything else this turn. So that's gone. We take 4. We fetch a thing. We untap and we kill them, hopefully. Yeah, Ideas Unbound plus Puppetry. We just need to find our way into a couple of Twiddles, and we should be good to go. If we can get enough mana to pass in Flames with 2, we'll be in an incredibly good spot. So let's start with Ideas Unbound. You always, in general, when you have a card that makes you make a choice and a card that doesn't make you make a choice, i.e. Peer Through Depths makes a choice, Ideas Unbound does not make us make a choice, you generally speaking want to play your cards that don't make choices first. You want to make your choices with the most information possible. I think we're good to go here. Yeah, there's a Twiddle. So we'll grab the Twiddle. Then we get to go blue, untap this. You get to go blue, untap this. Make red, cast Past in Flames. And again, we're going to leave this Psychic Puppetry in our hand. And the reason for this is we can splice this Psychic Puppetry onto arcane spells we're about to cast from the discard pile here. So we'll go Ideas Unbound, splice this, untap this. We'll go Ideas Unbound. We're just looking for a Grapeshot at this point. So we have enough storm count. We have enough spells that we can generate a lethal storm count, basically. Yeah, Ancient Stirring sounds not good. I like the idea of Sylvan Scrying, because Sylvan Scrying guarantees gets what you're looking for. Alright, so there's a Grapeshot. Just show you that one while we generate Storm here. Hey, diddle diddle, the twiddle and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. Would it map be less color intensive? It is less color intensive, but you can't. The issue with that is it's more restrictive. So you can't cantrip into map onto and use it. So the idea is that we can cast a cantrip on one, like a Sleight of Hand or a Serum Visions, and then use the mana. You grab a Sylvan Scrying and then cast a Sylvan Scrying on 2 to be able to combo on 3 is the general idea. So we're just generating storm count here. We're up to 15. So yeah, opponent is deterministically dead. They're just making us click through it. Don't put too much sodium in your diet, Chad. It's not healthy. It's not a good scene. Storm count is 17. Alright. Grapeshot you. They do know about the Grapeshot. I showed it to them off of a Peer Through Depths. Down here, salt's a way of life. The walls are salt, the floor is salt, the air is salt. It's all salt. Obscene Sanity, thank you for the 16 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Alright, we beat the turn 2 Thalia, turn 3 Thought Not Seer. We're on the play, though. It's an important distinction. We also had a sideboard card, so that helped. Hopefully for the third game, they won't turn 2 Thalia, turn 3 Thought Not Seer. I've got 2 Rapids, an Echoing Truth, and 2 Grapeshots. I think that's enough ways to kill Thalia. Maybe it's not. Trim a Past in Flames and bring in another Echoing Truth. This hand's pretty good, right? It's got 2 lands, our Lotus land, some cantrips, and an Echoing Truth. This just needs to find the Arcane Twiddler. Cast Baku Visions here. Odds of them having the same start 3 games running, incredibly high. Well, if I was going to stack the top of my deck, it probably would have been these cards. So that's a good start. What website did I use to track 3 freeze rotation? Whatever that bit.ly takes you to is the one that I used. All right, there's the Talia. So we'll drop Tolaria West here. We'll cycle Lonely Sandbar. We're getting ourselves set up for a turn 4 lethal here, which hopefully will be fine. Depends on how many other hate cards they have here. Why is no untapped land rough? What does it matter? I couldn't Echoing Truth either way, because Echoing Truth costs 3. If having an oh no, so we're dead. I believe we have died. I believe the game has ended and we can no longer win. Which that's the reason I don't love this deck. So it's a rough scene. I think I'm taking a land at this point. The good news is their clock is slow. We've got that going for us. So we have time to fumble around here a little bit. Sure. That's still relatively slow. Doesn't start doing extra stuff for 2 turns. So we need to find another piece of interaction here. So we can go end step Echoing Truth, untap, also Echoing Truth, get comboing. We need more sudden shock in our lives. Huh? I think I might actually Ideas Unbound here. Just like as a draw 3, discard 3. Oh, that's true. That's true. We can diddle the giver. Okay, that makes sense. Do we just wait then? I technically need 6 mana to do all that, though, right? Well, yeah, the truth on my turn costs 6, or costs 3, though, still, because there's a Thalia in play. Oh, so we're saying don't do it this turn. We want to wait a turn cycle. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? My health total doesn't matter. Oh, we could entwine grip. That's a good line. And you know what? I'm down. I didn't have to fetch this untapped. I'm gonna have to fetch shock here. I don't think that matters. So actually, I don't want to entwine grip because if I entwine grip, they can give her the Thalia in response, and I only have 2 lands up, so I can't Echoing Truth it. So the line here is don't entwine it. We diddle this, bounce this. So I'd like to tap this. And then with Trips, Idea Unbound, Psychic Puppetry, my opponent should be dead next turn. Probabilistically dead. Hey, diddle diddle. All right. Deck was a little scrappy. I'd like to untap. So it's possible to brick from here, but it's unlikely. Looking for a Grapeshot. Yeah, remember when I said it was unlikely? Yikes. Are there fetchable lands left in my deck? Because if there are, I should thin. I have 2 snow-covered islands, a steam vents, 2 breeding pools. Yeah, they're not. So I do not have fetchable lands left in my deck. Yep. Oh. Oh, deck. Oh, deck. All right, we got some redraws with our redraws here. And that's it. Yeah, so I'm not dead next turn. I'm not dead next turn is the long and short of it. So during their upkeep, oh, I have to discard 9 cards. God, this deck is bad. We have to discard 9 cards and end a turn. Oh, buddy old pal. So I think the line here is twiddle the germ, twiddle a land, hope they don't draw a land to redeploy stuff. Oh, I can't even twiddle the germ because they have Giver of Runes, right? Oh, I'm not dead though, right? So I can go tap this. Tap this. Hey, and if they brick here on a land, we can draw Past in Flames and combo next turn. Because we have 6 mana. But they draw a land, we're dead. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't use Giver Runes. God bless. So if they don't have a land, we have 2 Past in Flames and 27 cards. So like 1 in 14. 1 in 13.5. Ugh. Survey says all right. That was a great example of like some of the issues that this archetype has. I feel like our opponent had a good start, but like our start was pretty ideal, and we like had the tools to play through their disruption, and then our deck just hit part of its natural failure rate. So like even when things come together for us, the natural failure rate of the deck is just high enough that like you do start doing your thing and you just don't do anything. I think it was wise of. Do you think was wise of me to pre-order Once Upon a Time for Tron or Neoform combo? Yeah, I think it's good in both those decks. I also think Once Upon a Time is going to be a 4 of in a lot of standard decks too. So like if you get Once Upon a Time for like sub $15, that's probably going to be an okay pickup. If you expect to play Once Upon a Time in the next year, getting it for $15 or less is probably a good pickup. A card's just like going in actual everything. So like this is again another good example of some of the awkwardness of this deck. Like this is a hand where it's like lands and spells, but I just can't keep it, right? Like Serum Visions isn't gonna find me a land and a Lotus Field. And the rest of the hand just all of these cards here, there's 5 cards in this hand that actually don't do anything if we're not comboing. They can fog, I guess, but that's all they can do is fog. This hand's actually pretty good. We're seeing some of the power of Sylvan Scrying here. Get to go ahead and Serum Visions. You have the playset for 47 after tax. That sounds like a good deal. I would be content with that. We're looking for our arcane twiddler here. Grixis Shadow. I would be willing to bet money Grixis Shadow's an unwinnable matchup. Although we do have a bunch of Veil of Summers in the sideboard. So like if there is a card that can deliver us from evil, it is definitely that one. Nothing but net, chat. Nothing but net. I can't believe SCG priced that card as low as they did. They need to hire better people to evaluate their initial pricing. A lot of places put that card up way too low. Well, they haven't played a threat yet, so that's good for us. A lot of disruption, no threat. They notably can't discard this Lotus Field, so that's nice. Yeah, I'm so glad I don't have to worry about MTG Finance. God bless people in the Magic community that are willing to lend me cards when I play paper on occasion. And when the new set initially drops, we'll be playing mostly standard. So hopefully by the time we make it back to playing on Magic Online after the new set drops, traders will have copies of once in stock. Oh, would you look at that? Just a 1 mana 8/8, huh? That's all. No big deal. Just the huge, the old 1 mana 8/8. Well, I mean, that was a really good draw. So my opponent doesn't have Stubborn Denial, and we draw a draw 3. We could maybe combo here. Spoilers, I've read this book before. They have a Stubborn Denial. For those of you who are new, they never don't have the Stubborn Denial. Yeah, once will be impossible. So to give context to Magic Online, when Assassin's Trophy was printed, I was still doing only Moto at that point. Was I doing only Moto at that point? No, maybe we were doing Arena too. And anyway, I remember when Trophy was printed, I spent $25 or $30 per copy to have copies of Assassin's Trophy in the first few days. It was not a good scene. Hey, Twiddle Twiddle, the cat and the fiddle. The shadow jumped over the moon. We're treading water with crappy fog cards now. Please draw us a draw 3. Blue, red. What on God's green earth takes... We miss tapping black mana? I was like, what? What takes blue, red? We have a K command here. Yep. Man, I discarded the wrong one. For the record, I think I discarded the right one with the information I had at the time because I have a lot of arcane spells. But if I know I'm drawing this and I keep this, I could have possibly gone off this turn. So I made what I'm confident was the correct decision, but the card we draw was punishing for it. Is what it comes down to. You ever played the board game Dice Forge? I have not, Izzy. They always have the stub. Never not have the stub. I think I just do this. The last time we played this deck and I expressed displeasure with it, the Twiddle Storm community members were very upset. Hey, Arnie, thanks for the raid. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. And again, like, just these are the hands. I just like look at them and I'm like, I just can't keep this, right? Like, it's 2 lands with no Lotus Field. My only cantrip is this. This is kind of a cantrip, but it doesn't get me to Lotus Field. So, no, it wasn't on Reddit. I don't use Reddit. I'm smart. I'm smarter than that these days. Once upon a time, a young dumb Jeff, he used a lot of Reddit. Jeff today does not use Reddit. That's not true. I use Reddit to scroll from an unlogged in device as a news feed for things that I'm interested in. I don't respond to comments on Reddit. It's like punching a brick wall. It's not a pleasant experience. I never make promises on when I'm getting to decks in the deck queue. Just tough to know who's gonna add what, cut what, when. Oh, I guess Neoshul Brain's at the top. I'm a liar. Unless people cut a bunch of stuff, I'm gonna do the Legacy Neoshul Brand tomorrow. Unless there are a bunch of cuts today, which I doubt, we'll do Neoshul Brand tomorrow. A month ago, I would have told you there's no way Neoform gets banned. In a post Faithless Looting banned world, all I'm gonna say is nothing is safe. Hide your Sibian Spirit Guides. Where can I find my Jeskai Tempo plus Stoneforge list? Honestly, I'd recommend probably just like looking up some of the other ones people have played that have done well. Because the Jeskai Tempo list on my website is still Stoneforge Mystic list, because I honestly wasn't impressed with the card in the archetype. I preferred the build that we had been playing pre-Stoneforge Mystic for Jeskai. I don't know what that card refers to. I hurt myself. I've read the text of a lot of cards, but I definitely don't know most of the names. We played it once on stream, I believe. You could find the list we played on stream on my YouTube channel. Somewhere on the YouTubes, my list exists. Do you feel like Modern is in a better place when WotC is more active in terms of bannings and unbannings? I think it's a much better place when the format is managed. I think it is idiotic and shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how non-rotating formats work to expect printing a constant stream of cards into Modern to not result in nonsense being afoot. Am I going to a pre-release? I do not, I don't really play much paper Magic at all these days. It's a puppetry. Finger Puppet. I like a Psychic Tree Puppet. Alright, I'll take that one. Maybe we can do stuff next turn. If by interesting, you mean that card's probably jacked up in some deck that contains Mox Opal, yeah, I'd believe that. Mox Opal. Mox Opal broken with random things that abuses artifacts. Weird. Strange. Yay! More Thoughtseize! Yay! Thoughtseize! Woo! Thoughtseize! I mean, this is just how their deck works, right? Their deck is a couple of threats and then a bunch of cards that are discards and counterspells. So the line here is tap their Watery Grave, move to main phase 2, hope they don't have a Stubborn Denial. That's the line here. The reason why we're tapping the Watery Grave is because this way if they have Snapcaster Mage, they can't snap Stub. Or they could just be really good at Magic and do that. Okay. Well, I'm technically not dead on board, so we'll pass the turn here. So, I'm aware that I could have tapped random things there to play around Temur Battle Rage. I don't think I'm supposed to play around Temur Battle Rage. I think I'm supposed to use Puppetry, Splice Puppetry to tap them off of blue at the end of their turn so I can have a chance to untap and combo. So obviously, taking that line means I lose to this. But I think it's the correct line to give myself the best possible chance to win. It's very easy to look back and go, oh, they had the Temur Battle Rage, so it's right to tap their threat that's lethal with Temur Battle Rage. But I think trying to tap them off of their interaction is better and just hoping they don't have a Burn Spell or a Battle Rage. If you disagree with that, feel free to do the math. Yeah, if I tap their land in response to the Snapcaster Mage, I then don't have mana to do anything, Scissor, so it doesn't do anything. Or are you saying splice it? I could splice Puppetry onto Puppetry in response to the snap and tap their Steam Vents, untap my Lotus Field? Yeah, that's a line. So that would have worked, right? So I could have done that, and then during my second main phase, Ideas plus Puppetry. Okay, so that's a good one. So the devil's in the details. So you gotta talk that out, and then maybe we can win from there. Yeah, I like that line. I don't care about being fast. I don't care about actually winning the games. Like, I'd rather you be slow and like intelligible and reasonable and actually explain yourself rather than being fast and helping me win a game that I don't really care about winning. And I know that's different than a lot of Twitch streamers. Like, a lot of people prefer that you like just get fast and help them win the game, but like I don't really care about the results of the games. Talking about good Magic is more important. It's more meaningful. I don't really care about the Moto Fun Bucks that we win or lose. It's definitely playing a bunch of low-powered cards hoping to be adorable. It's definitely an apt descriptor of what this deck is doing. Yeah, ain't that the truth? If we cared about winning, we'd be playing other things. We're just trying to discover neat lines and see if things feel reasonable. If opponent's playing Valakut Titan, this matchup's probably very good for us, because their deck is both slow and non-interactive. So, like, we're actually going to be pretty well set up here to go off next turn, right? I think I'm actually just getting a Twiddle here, because it's Dark Ritual, right? And I've got double reach Ideas Peer for, like, plenty of card draw next turn, so just want to make sure I don't choke on mana. If we find our way into, like, a Pass in Flames to guarantee that we combo. Cometh at me, Steve. I ain't scared of you, Steve. So, sack those. Cast Reach Through Mist. Puppetry Twiddles. Hey, look. Another copy of Dark Ritual. Reveal an instant or sorcery card. So this makes 1 mana, this makes 2, this makes 2, this makes 1. So we should be good to go with Pass in Flames here. And again, we want to cast as many things as possible here before we Pass in Flames, so we have a lot of spells to flash back in our bin, but we notably want to leave the Psychic Puppetry in our hand, because the Psychic Puppetry will allow us to re-splice on all of these things when we flash them back. So my opponent, they're technically not deterministically dead yet. I almost said deterministic, but we technically don't have a Grapeshot yet. All right, there's a Grapeshot. We're now deterministic. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Abel. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. We're doing the thing. We did it. We did it. The old turn 3. Could have just Grapeshot, passed in Flames, Grapeshot. Nah, listen, if they want to waste their time, I'm going to draw more cards, okay? That's all I'm saying. Alright, so the opponent's deck generally plays Damping Sphere as their hate card of choice against what we're doing. So I think I want these Echoing Truths. Trim a Pass in Flames seems fine. Maybe I want to keep the Pass in Flames. Yeah, they probably have Graveyard Hate. I'm going to trim one of those. Hey, Lurper, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. This deck is so unlikely to be in a winning position. We got to maximize that time when we stay in it. Yep. Exactly. So you understand. You get it. Do 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 do. I'm supposed to bring in Nature's Claim if I'm expecting Damping Sphere to be their hate card of choice. Maybe that's right rather than Echoing Truth. I could see that. Yeah, I mean, this is a keep, right? Four color Saheeli is the deck I've been poking at that I've really liked. That deck's going to be extra sweet once we get Once Upon a Time in the new set. I am a sucker for a creature combo deck. So we're looking for more Ideas Unbound. We're looking for our Arcane Twiddle. Yeah, hopefully the fact that blue-white's only going to have one dual land means that 3-mana Teferi will be a little bit less present and the flash decks will be a little bit more powerful. That's the hope, at least. There's Graveyard Hate that we expected they might have. We can go off without the graveyard, although now we might not have to try. My end step echoing this, so I can just like untap and YOLO them. Who's on the untap YOLO plan? I feel like I'm on the untap YOLO plan. Mark Rosewater is on the record saying that there will not be rare dual lands in this fall set. I expect we'll get allied scry lands in the Theros set in the spring or winter or whatever you want to call it. Whatever that next set, whatever season that next set is in. There's also a good chance they kill us on their turn 4, so our best bet here is just like don't give them a turn 4. All right. Survey says well, okay. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Oh, we bricked off again. This deck bricks a lot. Okay, that's a Peer Through Depths. All right. Don't call it a comeback, chat. Don't call it a comeback. Are we doing it? I think we might be doing it. It's gonna be back-to-back turn 3 kills. This might be back-to-back turn 3 kills if we keep running good here. Oh, baby. Hit me, baby, one more time. Do 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 do. Is this Grapeshot lethal? Is this spell 10, 11, 12, 13? I don't have a target for this. I don't think I can take this Grapeshot, huh? I guess if Reach Through Mist draws a spell, I can take the Grapeshot and it can be lethal. I have Lonely Sandbar too. If I hit, so I give myself 2 draws to hit a castable spell for the Grapeshot to be lethal. So I need to get one more storm count. I think I'm supposed to take the Grapeshot and try and just hit a spell here. We could have pulled up the calculator and done some math. Oh no. Whew. Alright, by the skin of her teeth. Thanks for shocking yourself. Have a lovely rest of your league. Listen, if you register Valakut Titan, you deserve to get double turn 3 at every match you play, okay? This is what mid-range decks feel like when they play against you, Valakut opponent. Helpless. Valakut Titan is a deck that fundamentally has no respect for the modern format. It's hoping to beat up on people who are playing adorable things. I agree, Burgle, for the record. I'm glad that this deck that we're playing isn't very good, because if this deck was good, it would probably be one of the most miserable things in Modern. This deck does not have many interaction points. This is exactly the style of deck you do not want to be tier 1. Or at least I don't want to be tier 1. I think I'm just supposed to believe in Believe in the Serum Visions here. Yeah, taking turns is another example of a deck that's just like, you just don't want this archetype to be good. I don't know why you would want Exarch and Kiki-Jiki. I'd rather just, like, have a bounce spell. Look, man, I'm just saying your deck could legitimately be called Valakut Storm Boggles, and we should ban it on principle. Valakut Storm Boggles. That is such an apt description of what this deck is doing. Like, to an absurd degree, that is an apt description of what this deck is doing. Valakut Storm Boggles. Yeah, that's Valakut Storm Boggles. And as is usually the case with these really obnoxious linear decks, a mechanic from Kamigawa block is to blame for the reason why it's truly obnoxious. When in doubt, it's probably Kamigawa's fault. Alright, so how many diddles can I generate in mana this turn? Probably not enough. So this makes 3, this makes 5, and then I could technically flash back. I think I'm gonna just do this and then play this Lotus Field. Should have believed there was a puppet. Should have believed there was a puppetry on top. Should have gone for the turn 3 again. Kamigawa block or War of the Spark. I'm gonna go with War of the Spark because the War of the Spark cards are individually awful designs, whereas the Kamigawa block designs tend to be bad in unison with other things that were printed years later. So I think from a design perspective, they're less offensive because the way in which they end up being offensive is very different. I don't know. I think there's definitely some outliers in Kamigawa, like Umezawa's Jite and like Sensei's Divining Top, but as a whole, I don't know that I blame that format all that the set all that much past that. All right, so we're looking for a draw 3 at this point, right? I'm pretty confident my opponent's deterministic. Although they're not. Deterministic's a bad word to use. I'm pretty confident my opponent's dead. They're not deterministically dead, but we're heading in that general vicinity. All right, let's just make sure we have infinite mana now. All right, sweet. My ideas are unbounding. All right, I'm confident in saying deterministic at this point because with this Past in Flames, I can see the entirety of my deck, which guarantees we hit a Grapeshot. So my opponent's dead. I just gotta finish playing with myself here. Is it against the Twitch terms of service for me to play with myself on stream like this? Are we gonna get in trouble? I gotta finish twiddling myself over here. This is the part where if I was playing Paper Magic, I'd explain to my opponent what's about to happen to them and how they were dead, and I tell them they're welcome to continue sitting here, but you know, whatever they want to do. Maybe watching us do this is their kink, you know? Don't kink shame them. Someone donated for an ASMR Twiddle Storm League. It would be memorable content. That's probably apt. That's probably truthful. All right, let's just Grapeshot them and then Passive Flames Grapeshot them. All that Overwatch I've been playing in my off time is really helping with my APM for this league. Just making sure we're staying on the ball. So, Nature's Claim and Echoing Truth. This might be too much interaction. How much interaction is too much interaction? 4 pieces is probably good. Maybe I don't have time to diddle with Merchant Scroll. I believe that. Let's give this a try. I kind of feel like any hand that has Lotus Field on 2 lands, I'm just like supposed to keep and hope that it works out. That looks like things working out so far. Can I ask what the Ad Nauseam in the side is for? I assume the control matchup. It's a card advantage spell for when they're not pressuring your life total. I assume you're just like casting a fair Ad Nauseam off your Lotus Field. That's actually an incredibly good draw, because it means we can potentially turn 3 them next turn. Alright, if they don't kill us on their turn 3, and they don't play a hate card here, we are pretty likely to kill them on our turn 3. We have to go blue, play Lotus Field, diddle my Lotus Field, Ideas Unbound diddle, Ideas Unbound diddle, like draw 6. And like, obviously there's no guarantees with this archetype. It's like you could always break and die. Hey, Torcat, thanks for shipping your Prime this way again this month. Welcome back. I appreciate you keeping me around. Happy Thursday. Ooh, 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 ooh. As an EDH player, even the fair Ad Nauseams are too good. Hey, JVD Poll. Thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. Thanks for taking advantage of that half off September. Welcome to Hooglandia. Thanks for supporting my content this month. Is there no draw that lets us kill on turn 2? I don't think so. Ad Nauseam wins through Narset. I don't know if I buy that. Unless this is a Chalice of the Void. Yeah, they should be dead, right? Again, not deterministic because this deck does have something of a spectacular failure rate, but we're going to get to see a lot of cards and diddle our land a whole lot here. Another Ideas Unbound. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Excited for Disguise. Were you here earlier when we did that, Burgle? We cast 3 Ideas Unbound and then bricked off. There are no guarantees. Oh no. Oh no. Look at all these lands, chat. Look at all these lands, chat. Why'd you put this bad mojo on us? This is Burgle's fault, chat. Alright, we drew another Ideas Unbound. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Do 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 do. All right, there's a Peer Through Depths. I think Operation Valakut Storm Boggles is a go. I repeat, Operation Valakut Storm Boggles is a go. Hit me, dealer. Looking for a Past in Flames or a second copy of Grapeshot here. Look at that. Look at that. You taste that, chat? It's the taste of victory. Good. It's like a lot of turn 3 kills in a row, huh? There's a lot of turn 3 kills in a row. I feel like I should put it on the website, if only to name it Valakut Storm Boggles. I feel like it should go up there just for the sake of getting to name it Valakut Storm Boggles. Don't mind me, just tripping. We're just generating storms so we can cast a lethal. Man, who's excited to get Mindbreak trapped? I know I am. You should get seeds, you can get another turn 3 kill against this opponent. Something like that. Where's the same targets for all button? Combining the offensive mechanics of Hexproof Storm and Splice with the non-interactive nature of land-based combo, Valakut Storm Boggles is one of the most rancid modern experience this side of taking turns. Burgle, you should have gone into literature. Your talents are wasted in the scientific field in which you currently reside. All right, we're 2-2. We've made some of our play points back. Valakut Storm Boggles are taking them down. It's weird. It's weird. This is gonna sound strange, but I would like to posit that Magic gets easier once we make our way into the O2 bracket. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hey, Scissor, if you're still here, Oko is a great build around. I'm gonna send you an email back just in case, but if you're here. Oko sounds wonderful. Yeah, this hand's great, right? Not great. This hand's keepable. Restatement, not great, keepable. It needs some twiddle effects, but it basically has 2 lands and it basically has 2 lands and a hexproof thing, so oh no. Oh no. Hi. Oh no. Fetch shock against the bird deck. The police heard we were having fun, chat, and they've come to crash the party. Eidolon. Hey, thanks for the pile of sub-gifties, Scissor. I appreciate that. Welcome to our newest members of Hoaglandia. September 12th, 2019, 8:32 a.m. The victim has passed. Eidolon of the Great Revel will be listed as the murderer. At least we'll always have our 2 matches of turn 3 kills together, chat. At least we'll always have our 2 matches worth of turn 3 kills together. I'm gonna cut a Sleight of Hand. We're just gonna lean into hoping to go off as quick as possible here. What's Weather the Storm for if not this? Alright, I'll buy that for $1. I'll buy that for $1. I accept your premise, Twitch Chattian. I don't know. Every card you put in these decks that, like, isn't part of their primary game plan increases your probability that you brick. And, like, I feel like the failure rate on this deck is, like, already pretty high even with the trimmed main deck. So, like, diluting more isn't super appealing. I definitely agree with your assessment, though, that if Weather the Storm's not coming in here, it shouldn't be in the deck, so let's board it in. Yeah, and again, just like, this is just like the failure rate with this deck. Like, these hands, just like, I have lands and spells, but like, my hand just actually doesn't do anything, so I can't keep it. This deck has the similar problem to what Legacy Elves has, in that this deck frequently feels like it simultaneously has too many lands and not enough lands, just because Lotus Field is a land that's a combo piece. It's very similar to how Gaia's Cradle plays out in Legacy Elves in my experience. Mano2nex, thank you for cashing in that brand new tier 1 sub this month. Take advantage of that half off September discount. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Well, nature gets to claim an Eidolon here, so that's not too terrible for us. The problem is the rest of our hand is kind of going nowhere fast. And they didn't play any spells there, so I assume we're getting Eidolon, so we're going to drop to 15 to Nature's Claim this. Bye, Felicia. So let's dig deep here. I guess we get the Finger Pappets. Thanks, Mano. Good to have you here. I appreciate you keeping me around. Why do people rope on Arena but don't run out the clock on Moto? I think you probably just don't pay it. I don't know how much Moto you've played personally, but people tend to play pretty slowly on both applications. I also think a lot of the roping you probably see on Arena isn't so much malicious as it's just the application being laggy for a lot of people. Hey, look, it's a second Eidolon. Well, I mean, in a world where the rest of the cards in my opponent's hand are straight bricks, this Rapid Hybridization means I could win next turn if we're incredibly lucky. I haven't played any Moto. Yeah, people tend to play... This opponent's actually playing pretty quickly. I tend to be up on clock on both applications pretty consistently. Yep, we're dead. It's my opinion of the Selesnya Eldrazi deck. I feel like I'm not certain there's a compelling reason to not have a blue splash. Like, I feel like the core idea of the Selesnya Eldrazi deck is great, but I'm not certain that there's a reason to not just like be playing Stubborn Denial would be my statement or my question that I would want to ask. Because, like, we played Bant Eldrazi, and Bant Eldrazi is very reasonable. And, like, if you look at the Bant Eldrazi list on my website, that deck's basically, like, green-white Eldrazi with Stubborn Denial. Hey, good morning, Mikey. Yeah. The green splash didn't really change my opinion of this deck. It's just super clunky needing to have this land is awkward. This deck mulligans more hands that are lands and spells because they just don't do anything than probably any other deck I've ever played in Magic. And while you're definitely gonna have games like those 2 matches that we won where we just like back-to-back turn 3'd people, I feel like that's more the exception than the rule, just by the virtue of like the number of like blanks and awkward cards that this deck has when it's not going off. So how does Blue-Red Delver beat Leyline of Sanctity? Just attack them. Counterspells and attacking. You shouldn't have that many burn spells in post board against Ad Nauseam. You should be boarding into mostly counterspells. I wouldn't sideboard for Leyline in general. A lot of the decks that are going to be Leylining you probably want more counterspells than burn spells anyways. All right, I'm going to run to the restroom really quick, and when I get back, we're going to play some Blue-Black Storm as our second modern deck of the day.